Then the next question is concerning marriage. What girl or boy shall I look for when considering marriage? See, I have written a book called Sex, Love and Marriage, and I've written a book called Finding God's Will. Those are the two books I recommend to all young people to read. And if you can't afford to buy a copy, it's free on the internet. You can read it, download it, print it, make your own copy, and read it. There are specific instructions there all the way from when you're a young man or a young girl, all the way to the time you get married. It's not into marriage itself. It's only up to the time of marriage that book is written. Engagement period, what age you should consider. When looking for a partner, boys and girls, first of all, ask yourself, do you feel this person loves Jesus Christ? You can be friends with everybody in a distance, but if you're come to the age where you're thinking of marriage, maybe you're, as a girl, don't even think about it before you're 20, 21. And if you're a boy, don't even think about it before you're 25. That's the bare minimum. I believe that in India anyway. First of all, you must be able to earn your living. You must be able to support a family. And then only you can get married. Otherwise, how are you going to take care of your family? Then consider it and think of, try and find, and don't just go by outward appearance. Try and find out, when you come to the age of marriage, if your parents are believers, it's best that they find out from those who know that boy or that girl, who know him long enough or her long enough to know what type of person is that. So that you get a good testimony, and not just by looking at her or just listening to her testimony or his testimony. Find out, very important. The non-Christians in India have more sense in this. They always try to find out. In many cases here, many young people here, their parents are non-Christians. And I tell you, some of those converts from non-Christian families who are in our midst are stronger Christians than the children born in Christian families. Because those young boys and girls, and especially if it's a girl, they've had to take such a strong stand against their parents. What a price they've had to pay to break away from their non-Christian parents, or sometimes their parents who are in some dead Christian denomination. You don't understand the pain that a girl has to go through to take such a stand. I admire them 10 times more than a girl brought up in a Christian home. They've taken a stand. They've had to pay a price. So don't despise them. Some of them are very, very fine Christians. So this is what you need to ask yourself. So if it is from our own church, you can always ask the elders. If they are from another church, find out from the elders. Through your parents, if your parents are not Christians, through the elders. That's why it's very good to have God-fearing elders who are interested in you. And you won't find that in every church. You've got to be thankful that the elders here are so interested in you that whatever their other weaknesses may be, is to help you. So that's one of the main ways to find a good partner. So let me show you a verse in 1 Corinthians in chapter 7 in this connection. 1 Corinthians in chapter 7 we read, verse 36. If any man thinks he's acting unbecomingly towards his virgin daughter, that means he's not letting her get married. If she's past her youth, if it must be, then let him do what he wishes. He does not sin, let her marry. So verse 38, he who gives his daughter in marriage does well. What I learned from that verse is, that is the father who gives the daughter in marriage. That's scripture. He gives his virgin daughter. There's no such thing as a man giving his son in marriage. That's not heard of in the Bible. But a man gives his daughter in marriage. A man can choose for himself who's going to be his wife, consulting his parents, of course, or other elders. But it is the father who gives the daughter away. And that's why if you're interested in a girl, you must talk to her father. And if her father is not a believer, you must talk to the elder who is over her if you're interested. If you don't take that first step, you're violating Scripture and you'll suffer the consequences. And I want to say to you, young girls, if you find a boy interested in you, consult the elders. If you can consult your father, that's the best, if he's a God-fearing man. Then, if he's not a God-fearing man, you've got elders here whom you can consult who will help you. But remember this principle. It's a man who gives away the daughter. It's because that's a protection for the girl. So some of these things, if we bear in mind, you don't come into the calamity that comes. So that's why we have to be very careful when you make friends in school and college. And as far as the engagement period, an engagement period can be short or long depending on various circumstances. It's a time of preparation where we get to know one another a little more. Don't rush into an engagement if you're not sure. But if during the engagement period you discover something seriously wrong, there's nothing wrong in breaking up that engagement. Because a broken engagement is 1,000,000 times better than a broken marriage. Broken marriage is divorce. It's serious. Okay, then there are